Namaste, Jai Kali, Jai Mahadev, Jai Bharat. I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. Remember, if you're fit and fine, you can take better care of your loved ones. So, today I'm going to talk about 10 things that depression makes us do. And depression is quite, popular these days. Everyone is suffering from depression, stress, anxiety, and a lot of these issues are around us. I mean, we cannot deny. So let us understand what are the 10 things that depression makes us do. So, number one is, under the influence of depression, we tend to go into isolation. Yes, under the depression, under that depressive state, we often, go into a state of isolation. And what happens? We get disconnected from the outside world, we become delusional, and a lot of mess happens. So yes, depression makes us go into isolation as well. Number two is disorganized. Whenever we are suffering from depression, we are just in that state and we forget about our surrounding, the place where we stay, the clothes that we wear, and everything that is around us. So, in the state of depression, we tend to become very disorganized. So, there is a lot of clutter inside and out, and things are not organized. It's just a royal mess. Under the influence of depression, there is chaos and disorganized things all around us. Point number three, under the influence of depression, people tend to not take personal hygiene seriously sometimes. They are so lost in their own, that in that depressive state, that they forget to wear clean clothes, or they forget to have a personal hygiene, practice hygiene, stay in hygienic places, eat hygienic food. They just forget because they are so engrossed in that depressive state that they just they just forget that self love kind of a thing. So the moment self love goes away from a person, the person is just not bothered at all. And whether it's a poor condition or a good condition, it doesn't matter. They are just surviving without any. What do you say? They don't have any such discretion, or that I need to stay clean or I need to stay organized. It just goes away. I mean, depression is such a bad thing, and one gets lost when they're depressed. So because of that, they lose track of their hygiene, and of course poor hygiene leads to a lot of health problems. We cannot deny that. So dirty clothes, poor hygienic practice, and poor hygiene leads to a lot of problems further. So yes, the third point is hygiene. People suffering from depression forget about hygiene. They are just depressed and they are not concerned about hygiene. The fourth point is struggling with sleep. Anyone who is suffering from depression have got very poor quality of sleep. They can't sleep. No matter what you do, no matter what they do, they just can't sleep. Maybe for an hour, two or three, that's it. Poor quality of sleep. So, people suffering from sleep issues or struggling to sleep, depression could be an underlying reason. The fifth point is catastrophizing, normal situation. Whenever someone is under the influence of depression or suffering from depression, any normal situation also looks like a big chaos, a catastrophe to them, and then they overreact. So as it is, I explained that under the influence of depression, people are isolated, disorganized, they don't have good quality of sleep. So there is a lot of chemical disbalance going on in the head also. And on top of that, they are so disconnected with the present and what is happening in and around them, that the moment their attention comes back to what is happening, they just react in a crazy way. They, or maybe you can put it in this way, they overreact to simple situations as if some big apocalypse has happened or something catastrophic has happened. So yes, under the influence of depression, um, small normal situations, silly things also might look like a big issue, a big burden, or maybe a big apocalyptic issue. So yes, that is what happens under the influence of depression. The sixth point is bad food habits. People under depression already lack a lot of motivation. They lack a lot of, they suffer from low self esteem. And because of all of this, they really don't care what they eat. So they just eat anything. I mean, like the quantity is not in control, the quality is not in control. They just eat anything, anytime, and trust me, that messes up the system. One needs to have moderation. One needs to understand what is good for your body and what is not good for your body. And it helps. So, a bad food habit is one of the things that happens uh, to those who are suffering from depression, or they are under the influence of depression. The seventh point is lack of motivation. As I mentioned, that already, they have a phase where they are in isolation, they're disorganized, hygiene they're not caring about, they're already struggling with sleep. Normal situation looks like a huge catastrophe to them, and they're unable to handle all of this. And because of that, it's obvious that, they are, under the, because of depression, person gets so messed up that if there is a simple thing around them that can motivate them, but they won't, take it as a motivation, because they are all lost in that depressive state, and they're lost to such an extent that they just don't care. And in that state, they just forget that motivation is a driving force, and they don't identify the motivation that is around them, or if someone is trying to motivate them. So, lack of motivation, of course, becomes evident. And even if something motivating is in front of them, they are just not bothered about it, they just don't care. And as a result of which, they don't see any motivation, and then they complain that there is nothing motivational, there is nothing that motivates me. It's the problem here is the state that they are into. They don't see the motivational things around them. And I'll come to the points how we can manage it. But this is one of the things that depression makes us do, is, lack of motivation. We are unable to identify motivation at all. We just think that there is no motivation in this world. A world has come to an end. And the eighth point is managing, problems, and handling your problem, or in a way, keep running away from your problem. So when a person is as it is depressed, the problem solving abilities are as it is zero, because again, there is low self esteem, there is lack of confidence, there is lack of motivation, there is poor sleep, there is bad food habits, they are into isolation, a lot of things are happening. And because of that, they keep running away from their problems. They are never into solving their problems, and they think that if they are running away, it's fine. But running away is not the solution. You have the solution to all your problems, and you need to sit and identify and recognize and sort it out. So yes, running away from problem is one of the things that depression makes us do. And the next point is constantly having this feeling of guilt and self-hatred. Now again, I'll go back to the first point, isolation, bad sleep, you know isolation, bad sleep, there is a lot of, as it is, wrong food, you know uh, a lot of chemical disbalance, as it is happening because of wrong food. Nutritional, nutritions and micronutrients are not entering. You're not eating the right food, you're not eating sufficient, a sufficient amount of good quality of food, and you're not sleeping sufficiently. So all of this is affecting the chemicals that is produced and released in the brain, that keeps your mind healthy. So again, because of all those disbalance of chemicals in your mind, I mean feeling guilty is one of the things, and self-hatred. So depression also makes you feel, make or rather makes us feel self-hate, and also makes us constantly feel guilty. We need to understand that We have to identify how we are feeling. And trust me, we have the ability to identify how we are feeling, and then we can even counsel ourselves and we can change the way how we feel about things. So, for everything, we need good mind, we need a healthy body. These two things are very essential in order to combat anxiety, stress, and depression. And trust me, I have been there, I have handled it, and I have rather, I would say I suffered for years, 5 6 years of depression. Not easy, but yes, I have overcome that, and it's only you who can do it. No one else can come and just sprinkle something and run the wand and magic will happen. No, you have to solve your own problems yourself. You have to take the first step. So that was point number 9, what depression makes us do. And point number 10, because of all that isolation, disconnection, disorganized, these anxiety, panic attacks, not solving your problems, constantly having this guilt, self-hatred, lack of motivation, all of these things, even make you feel constantly scared. So under the influence of depression, once the entire mess begins, all the points that I've mentioned, all of the above points that I have mentioned also uh, contribute into a feeling of living in fear. So we are constantly afraid. We are afraid of future, we are afraid of what would happen next. There is a very different kind of paranoia, fear inside of us when we are depressed. So depression is a very pathetic thing. And in order to, two simple ways, let me tell you, to combat depression. First thing is start doing lots of walks. Trust me, walk has got a lot of amazing benefits to your mind and body. So do a lot of walks. And the next thing that I would like to advise you guys is that get good amount of sleep. Get good amount of sleep. Even if you're not feeling sleepy, go into bed. You might be rolling from side to side, but still after some time you might fall asleep, or maybe do some breathing exercise and go off to sleep, or maybe after a good walk go off to sleep. So like, I know some people might who are suffering from depression might have challenges sleeping on a specific time. So go for a good long walk. After that, come back, take a bath, and go take a nap. Trust me, it is going to start creating positive changes. Depression is bad, and in case if you know anyone who's suffering from this, or who are unable to identify, or if you think this video can be of some help to someone, please feel free to share the video with them and your loved ones. And in case if you have any of these signs and symptoms, please look out for a therapist, a counselor, or mental health professional for support. There is no shame in looking out for help. This is just like any other disease, cough, cold. Though depression is more dangerous, I would say. But yes, like, you shouldn't be ashamed of it, and please reach out for help. And in case if you need any help from my end, or if you want to talk about it, you can reach out to me on my mail at sarakhankalidasi@gmail.com. And please remember, you are special. You have the ability to solve all your life problems. But before that, you have to solve and keep your body healthy and your mind healthy. And I have told you 2 easy tips: sleep well and walk a lot. That is really going to help. So, yes, please take care of yourself, and remember, you are special. And please do like, share, subscribe the channel, and be in touch. And in case if you would want to share something, you can always comment, and my comment sections are moderated, so please kindly comment something which is relevant to the video. I would love to read the comments in case if you're facing any challenges, or in case if you have any tips in mind that you would like to share with other viewers. So till then, please take care of yourself, and lots of blessing and love to all of you. Bye.